Her voice trembled over the phone, each word fragile and worn, as if she had rehearsed his confession until it unraveled at the edges. "Talk now," she urged, the quiver in her tone betraying the weight she carried. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I let silence stretch deliberately between us, heavy and deliberate, a slow-burning alarm cutting to fragile connection. It wasn't hesitation. It was control, a measured pause meant to make her feel the gravity of what she'd done. 8 weeks earlier, she stood in the heart of our home, the kitchen where sunlight always spilled like liquid gold over the worn tiles. Her arms were crossed tightly, as if shielding herself from a storm only she could see. She said she needed space, a pause to untangle the threads of her own thoughts, to rediscover the woman she was beyond the life we had built together. "No contact," she declared, avoiding my gaze. I asked her gently if there was someone else. Her answer came with a slight hesitation, almost imperceptible, but clear enough to cut. "No." Her voice was steady but fragile, a mix of resolve and vulnerability. "This is about me, about us, about how the monotony suffocates, how obligations crush," she said. She swore she still loved me, but she needed perspective, a breath of fresh air. I respected her wish, granting her the solitude she claimed was necessary for self-discovery. But self-discovery, I quickly realized, was not found under the shade of tropical palms with a cocktail in hand. Her mother, bless her heart, lacked the subtlety of digital discretion. With reckless enthusiasm, she shared vacation snapshots on Facebook, unaware of the prying eyes that lurked behind screens. There was my wife, radiant under the Caribbean sun, skin-kissed by the ocean breeze, sitting far too close to a man whose face dredged up painful memories. Ethan Caldwell, her high school sweetheart, the one who had once shattered her heart before I ever entered her life. They made no effort to hide their closeness. Her hand rested casually on his knee, his arm draped possessively around her shoulders. Their smiles gleamed under the sun, but beneath that warmth lay something far darker, betrayal. I stared at those photos until my eyes burned, then shut the laptop, letting the pain wash over me like cold water. It was as if a light had been switched off inside me, the warmth and hope I had nurtured for us fading to nothing. We had built something I believed to be genuine. A home with creaking wooden floors, a dog that barked at every storm, quiet movie nights snuggled on the sofa, pancakes burnt to a crisp on lazy Sundays. We had private jokes that turned crowded rooms into our own secret world. I thought our foundation was unshakable, grounded in something real and lasting. But I was wrong. I wasn't her forever. I was her safety net, the dependable fallback, the man she settled for until an old flame reignited a forgotten fire. The morning after I discovered the truth, I took off my wedding ring. It felt lighter than I had imagined. I placed it carefully in an envelope alongside her grandmother's pendant, a keepsake she cherished, and packed up every piece of her that remained in our home. Her dresses, her novels, the half-empty bottles of perfume. I boxed them up and shipped them to her parents' house across the state, paying extra for next-day delivery, making sure my message was clear and deliberate. I contacted our financial planner, dividing our accounts with cold precision, no emotion, no haste. Half our savings went into a new account in my name alone. I unfollowed her on every social platform, blocked her number, and updated my status to single. Not complicated, not on a break. Single, but I didn't stop there. She had been careless with passwords, reusing the same one everywhere. I accessed her email, our shared cloud storage, even the music streaming account linked to my credit card. The evidence was glaring. A reckless trail of flight bookings to Aruba, hotel reservations under both their names, messages to her sister gushing about how perfect it all felt this time, how fate had brought them back together. I didn't explode with anger. I didn't smash anything in rage. Instead, I became methodical, cold and calculated. I forwarded everything to my attorney. The photos, the receipts, the timeline. In our state, infidelity mattered, especially when it involved dividing assets. She didn't know I had frozen our joint credit card the very day she left. Every extravagant hotel charge, every drink, it all came from her own funds, leaving behind a paper trail of her recklessness. I quietly put the house on the market. The market was strong, and I could afford to wait. I knew how to stage a home to look flawless, as if no one had ever lived or loved within its walls. I drafted my exit from the marriage with surgical precision, including a sharp letter delivered alongside the legal papers. When she called 8 weeks later, assuming I was still the loyal husband waiting in the wings, she was gravely mistaken. "I saw the photos," I said, my voice steady and sharp, cutting through her defenses. Her breath caught, and she faltered. "It wasn't what it seemed," she whispered. "It looked like his hand was halfway up your dress." I shot back coldly. "You went to Aruba to find yourself," she said, voice breaking again. "I didn't plan for this." I replied evenly. "You planned for me to stay here holding my breath," she accused. I told her calmly, "Your belongings are at your parents' house. Ask your mom about the photos. She has a knack for capturing deceit." Her voice crumbled entirely. "Can we meet? I miss you. I messed up." "You didn't mess up," I said, composed and distant. "You chose." The next day she arrived at the house, acting as if nothing had changed, but the locks had. She called and left a trembling voicemail on the porch. I didn't pick up. Instead, I sent one word, "attorney," followed by the name and number. She never knocked again. 2 weeks later, the house was sold. I moved into a sleek downtown apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows. No trace of her left behind. I kept the dog. She never asked for him. Mutual friends tried to stay neutral, offering vague condolences. I didn't bother to clarify. Truth doesn't need the spotlight. It waits patiently until it lands, undeniable and sharp. Her mother deleted the photos from Facebook. Her sister went silent online. Ethan Caldwell, as it turned out, was on probation for DUI. A real catch. Months later, she sent a letter. Pages of handwritten remorse. Claiming she was lost, that I was the best thing she'd ever had. I didn't reply. Betrayal reveals who someone is. But revenge? Revenge reveals who you truly are. I learned that I am not the man who begs or clings. I am the man who watches, who plans, who waits. And when the time is right, I disappear from your life so completely it's as if I was never there at all. That's not revenge. It's precision. It's strength. It's freedom.